everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a really great day. Now today is a really exciting video for me as it's going to be my first collab video. I'm working with Sasha Lynn over here on YouTube. She's a bit of a newbie like me as well, and we've been supporting each other's channels basically since we both started. We thought it'd be nice to come together to work on a video as we are both sort of themed around minimalism and low waste on our channels. Sasha's definitely further ahead than I am in terms of the going low waste or going zero waste. And we decided for our videos we're kind of going to air our dirty laundry a little bit and talk about the mistakes and things we've made in our journeys. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the mistakes I made early on in my journey. Now I am only on my 6th month of this journey, so it is still pretty early for me, but I'm talking about right back at the beginning. The mistakes I made, a lot of which came from having certain assumptions about going into this process, so that's what I'm going to be talking about. And then over on her channel, Sasha is going to be talking about the wasteful things she used to do in the past, which I'm sure many of us are guilty of. So before becoming low waste or zero waste, the things she used to do, because we're all only human. So after you've watched this video, make sure you head on over to her channel and check out her video. I will link it down in the description below. So I would say my first mistake, or something I'd say I'm not too proud of, is the whole dreaming of the minimal aesthetic. And what I mean by that is thinking about minimalism in terms of how something looks. Now, going into this journey, I always knew that my main goal was to reduce my consumption. It's why I did my no-buy, and following a more minimal lifestyle seemed like a brilliant way to do that. But I'm not gonna lie, I really did also crave that minimal aesthetic. I wanted everything to look sleek and clean and white and non-cluttered, and I did desire that appearance. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that if that's the image or the look that you want in the rooms in your house, but I think I did get a little bit too drawn into it. At points I have lost my focus and forgotten what my main goal here is and my main intention, and so as a result trying to rush the process so that I can achieve that look as quickly as possible. And I do have to remind myself every now and then that it's okay to still look a certain way, because it's about the consumption and not necessarily the look. It's about the fact that I am consuming less and I'm therefore not being a part of the demand that is out there for various different products that are really overconsumed in our society. Which leads me on to my second point, which was thinking that decluttering would be quick and easy. I had this idea of how I wanted things to look, and so I thought I would start decluttering really quickly and I'd be able to achieve that look very fast. And I've still not achieved that look 6 months down the line, because it is not a quick and easy fix. So if you're thinking of going into a more minimal lifestyle and you want to start decluttering to achieve just that look, and it's really only about the look for you, then decluttering is not a quick and easy process. I have managed to accumulate a lot of stuff, and I'm not just talking clothes and I'm not just talking makeup, I'm talking household, things in the kitchen, things in the living room, just things in the office. Every room in my house has an abundance of stuff, and I am just going through it one area at a time at the moment and trying to declutter it, and it is taking a while. It is a personal thing to start decluttering and deciding to let go of your possessions, and it's not a process really that can be rushed. I know there are videos out there where people say I decluttered my whole life in 24 hours, but I would say for the average person that's probably not the best way to go. This process does take time. And the big thing for me that's making it take so long is ensuring that I'm passing items on responsibly. So for example, when I did my wardrobe declutter, I decluttered 150 just over items of clothing, and I couldn't just take them all to the secondhand shop in one go, and there were some pieces that I wanted to sell, and so I have had to live with having piles and piles and piles of clothes that have got different places to go, and especially with lockdown I've not been able to just immediately get rid of them. So in fact, when that clutter was away in my wardrobe, it was actually less of an eyesore than it is now, where it is just in piles in my room, ready to go to various locations. And so that has been a really tricky thing for me to live with, because I hate clutter. That's why I generally shut things away in cupboards. I hate looking at it, but I have to do it responsibly. I can't just throw all these things out or do something irresponsible with them. I want to know that they've gone to a particular place where I support the causes. For example, in the UK, a lot of our secondhand shops are charity shops. I want to make sure that my items go to causes I want to support, and so I've got to make sure that there is a suitable time to take those items there, and a lot of the charity shops have been closed. And also, if you want to sell items, sometimes that can take a while. It doesn't always happen immediately. So having to deal with the fact that despite having technically decluttered, the items are still in my possession and they are just waiting to go to the relevant places. So it has been a very slow process. I did my wardrobe declutter months ago and I have still got some of the items in my house. I did my kitchen declutter. I've still got some of the items in a box in my garage waiting to go somewhere. So it's not necessarily going to be an instantaneous thing that you can achieve in a day. My third mistake has definitely been comparing myself to others, particularly other people online and on YouTube, because I let myself forget that I am early on in my journey, and some people have been doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and so I look at my space and I look at the amount of things I've got and I think I've still got way too much, and I'm really lacking in comparison in terms of really putting in my best effort with this. And I keep having to remind myself, and I keep saying it all the time, that it is not just about the amount of stuff you've got or the amount of stuff you've been able to declutter, it's about consuming less. And I can proudly say that I have definitely consumed far less since I started this journey. I haven't purchased a single item of clothing. I know I say it all the time, I'm really proud of it. And we have to remember this is a process, it's a journey. Everyone is on their own path, and so we just have to remember to be proud of what we can achieve with what we've got. And for some people it will take way longer, for some people they'll be able to do it really quickly, and I have to remind myself to be proud of the process I've gone through so far and not feel guilty about still having things, because quite honestly, if I do declutter something and I could have got more use out of it and I'm not passing it on in a way someone else will get more use out of it, maybe something like makeup, so you can't just necessarily hand that on unless it's someone that would be comfortable using your old makeup. So for me to just get rid of that, that would just be a waste when that is perfectly usable product. So I feel like, well, I could have done better, I could have decluttered it and I could have less, but that would have just been a waste. It's about thinking about the bigger picture as a whole and not letting yourself feel too guilty about it. Number 4 is kind of trapping myself into a place where I feel like I'm not allowed to buy anything. I've even mentioned it in this video that I'm really proud that I haven't bought any clothing this year, but I've kind of now trapped myself in a corner, because what happens if I do see something that I really want and it fills a gap in my wardrobe and I check that it's ethically and sustainably made and it's just something I really want, I'd really enjoy it and I know I get the use out of, but I am just going to feel so bad now when it comes to the time that I break that streak of I've gone 6 months without buying an item of clothing and now I've basically backed myself into a corner where I'm going to feel like I've let myself down if I then end up buying clothing. So I think in a way I've almost put too much pressure on myself in terms of that and in terms of my no buy, and whilst I am happy to continue doing it and I am proud of certain areas of what I've achieved, I just feel like I've kind of trapped myself into feeling guilty one way or another. And I also feel like I've got into the mindset of if I buy something then I'm going against my own principles and I'm going against what minimalism stands for, because I keep saying it, it's about consuming less and not adding to the demand. So if I then buy something, I am adding to the demand and then I'll feel guilty about that, and I've sort of trapped myself in a mindset, and I never intended for that to happen. I never intended for myself to start thinking like this. I only intended to better myself and to generally have less, consume less. I didn't foresee myself getting into this mindset where I would feel guilty about it. So I would say that's definitely a mistake I've made, because I should feel okay about buying the occasional thing if I really have thought about it. All those things I've mentioned before, have I thought about the energy that went into making it, the resources, the emissions and the impact of it being made, the people who made it, the fair working conditions, how much use I'm going to get out of it, and how I'm going to dispose of it responsibly. If I've considered all those things and I think it is a good purchase, I think I should be allowed to make that purchase. But I've kind of tricked myself into feeling guilty about it. So where you can, don't let yourself feel guilty. By all means, be sensible and consume less and make that a really significant part of your journey, but don't corner yourself and make yourself feel completely guilty, because it's not necessary to go to that extreme. If you really want something and it's going to make you happy, then I think there should be a bit of wiggle room there. And the last mistake I think I made earlier on in my journey is actually one I'm not proud of, and that is feeling like I've got to hide things or pretend I have less than I actually do. And I think because I was talking about my journey on the internet, that kind of fed into that, because I didn't want people to perceive me as not really giving this my best effort, and that I was being lazy with it, and I was saying I was trying to be minimalist, but I wasn't really getting into it as much as I could. And now I think my viewpoint has just completely switched, because now I see it as, it's good that people see that I've still got stuff and that I still own a lot, because then if they watched my videos they would see the journey of having loads of stuff from when I was really maximalist to very slowly reducing the amount I have. Then hopefully in the future I'll be at a point where I do have noticeably less, but it is a journey. And actually the message I want to give out to people is, you don't have to get rid of all your stuff you have now, and you don't have to waste things that were perfectly usable to call yourself a minimalist, because it's all part of the journey, the process. And as I keep saying, I'm hoping this will be the last time I say it, about consuming less. It's not really about what you've already got. I would say make the most of what you've already got. It's about not now over consuming new things and introducing new things into your life that you don't necessarily need. So you can still be minimalist whilst having quite a bit of stuff in your possession. Remember, it's always better to hold on to something a little bit longer, and then if you decide later on you don't want it, then you can let it go, than to let something go and then realise actually you did want it and then have to go out and buy a new one and add to the demand. So it's better to do it the other way around. So something just to bear in mind. And that's it from me this week. This is kind of a bonus video. If this goes to plan, this will go live on Friday. Sunday's video will still be happening as normal. This is just an added extra. And remember to go and check out Sasha's video about the wasteful things she did before becoming zero waste. I will link that in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, if you're not yet following me on Instagram, I will pop that over here. Please go and check that out. And that's all from me. Take care, guys. Bye.